Hello everyone, I am Alonso Castillo-Ramirez. I am an associate professor at the University of Guadalajara in Mexico, and today I want to talk to you about the end of an era in mathematical research. So I want to talk to you about 3 points. First, how research was in mathematics was done in the past. Now how research in mathematics is changing because of AI. And last, how I think the future will be for research in mathematics and what will be the main challenges. So traditional mathematical research starts with axioms and definitions, definition of some mathematical objects, and actions are the rules that these mathematical objects satisfy, and some theorems and proofs. So theorems are statements that about these mathematical objects, and the proofs are the reasoning with a logical deduction about why these theorems are true. So they are the evidence using logical arguments that tell us that a theorem is true. So the traditional goal in mathematical research, the way we were doing it is reading about what other mathematicians have written. Of course, we could read them in books. Now we can read them in electronic journals as well. We were discussing with colleagues what to do, or sometimes mathematicians we think by ourselves. Maybe in Blackboard we scribble some equations, some numbers, some figures. And at the end, the mathematical discovery mainly was happening in the mind of mathematicians, of human mathematicians. Sometimes with the help of computer to do some simulations or to test some examples, but the main reasoning of a proof of a theorem was done in the human mind of mathematicians. However, this way of doing research is changing in recent months, basically. We have seen now in the news this year more and more common breakthroughs from artificial intelligence solving mathematical problems. So as to put you as an example here, we find 10 advances in mathematics and theoretical computer science published by OpenAI that they have solved here 10 hard and important mathematical problems. And another example that you can see here is the solution of the 87-year-old Jacobian conjecture. It was a problem that mathematicians have thought about it for 87 years, and no human mathematicians was able to find a solution. And now an AI system, in particular Claude Fable 5, was able to discover and to find a counterexample of this conjecture, hence solving the problem. However, this is something we don't see only in the news. We, as a mathematical community, this computer power of large language models in order to solve mathematical theorems, to prove mathematical theorems, is something that we can see every day in our everyday life as a researcher, just by interacting a little bit with these systems. So a way of reacting of the mathematical community to these changes is the Leiden Declaration on Artificial Intelligence and Mathematics, which was signed as well by the International Mathematical Union. And this declaration highlights 3 important key points. The first one is the importance of attribution, human attribution, to properly give credit to humans that had some ideas or some questions, original questions. Second is the point of responsibility, which means that humans should understand and should be responsible for the results that are proven with the help of artificial intelligence. And third is the transparency, to always disclose when artificial intelligence was used to solve a problem in mathematics. So I believe this phenomenon that we are seeing, of course, is not particular of mathematics. It's something that we are seeing in our society as a whole. And I think of it as a new industrial revolution in a similar way that the industrial revolution mechanized material production. Now artificial intelligence is mechanizing intellectual production. We see the impact in all the areas of science, but I think mathematics is a particularly vulnerable science for artificial intelligence because it doesn't require experiments, it doesn't require observations of the real world. Pure mathematics lives in the realm of the ideas, starting from definitions and axioms and using proofs for theorems, using logical deductions. And this is something that machines are starting to do very well. So about the future, what I will think will happen. So I think we'll have several challenges. So I want to talk to you here in particular about 3 challenges. The first challenge I want to talk to you about is I believe discovery will be abundant in the future, and the majority of mathematical discoveries will be done by AI. But I think human understanding will be scarce. So we need to keep up with understanding as a human society, because at the end, there's no benefit for the humanity if only machine understand mathematics and we humans don't understand mathematics. The second challenge is this important question: is who will get the credit and who will get the access for these new results in the future? The credit perhaps is something that will change, because if discovery is done by machines, perhaps humans should get the credit for understanding ideas or for communicating ideas. But these are 2 things that we should think about. And the third important point is how it will affect teaching. So I believe, of course, AI is going to fundamentally change teaching, because students can have now a private tutor, basically an LLM, where they can ask questions and it can solve precise things. But I think teaching also requires the human connection, because we have evolved over hundreds of thousands of years to live in a human community, in a human society. And this part of the human connection of empathy, working in human teams, sharing our ideas, communicating our ideas with other humans, I think it is something that we should not lose, and we should continue encouraging it in the future. So in conclusions, I have 2 main conclusions. The first one is that AI is fundamentally changing the way we do mathematical research. And the second is that I think to face the future's challenges, we should prioritize human well-being. And this includes human connection. It improves human understanding to live well in a human society at the end. Thank you very much.